All right, here we are, day five. Day five, the final day. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How cool that today, the final day of our Infinite Abundance Challenge, falls on Valentine's Day. Happy Love Day, y'all.
Happy Valentine's Day. Big heart.
Big hearts, big love, everyone. And here in Mexico, where I am, it is the day of love, but it is also the day of friendship. So they call it both. So it's El Día de Amor y El Día de Amistad. So no matter what, much love to all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Thanks for being with us this whole week. Today's the final day, day five, and today's day is alignment. It is the answer. It is the secret. It is the answer to everything, and it is alignment. I'm so excited to hear Merav share all about that. Yesterday was day four, which was the day of action, and we talked about inspired action. And this whole thing was an inspired action. I just want you to know this whole thing, right, Merav?
That's right. Pure inspiration. Yeah. It's sitting at my kitchen table and it just came out.
There
Yeah.
we are sitting at your kitchen table with the big $100 bill in the background. And this whole thing was an inspired action. So thank you for joining us. What inspired actions did you take? What did you do out there? Tell us. And then Marat, please share. What did you do yesterday?
I do love to journal. I actually have a dreams journal sitting beside my bed at all times. And I like to recap, in a sense, what I did in the night. And in the day, I recap in the night. So I do my journaling every night. And because we had that conversation, I started doing my I remember when. I remember when. And I wrote a few I remember whens that on this timeline have not yet occurred. And some of them have to do with some of my, you could call them goals, but they were memories of me doing podcasting and doing things like this. And maybe that was also triggered because I recently had this photo shoot with this great photo shoot experience. And one of the scenes or the images, the identities that I was playing into during that photo shoot was as a podcaster. And as I was reviewing the pictures yesterday that the photographer sent me back, and like just a great experience, the pictures that I liked the most was me just in a simple, white shirt and jeans like I normally wear, just very casual. And there was a microphone that the photographer placed in front of me and just had me imagine talking to these amazing authors and philosophers and people who I really respect. And the pictures just really caught my eyes, really lighting up and really becoming, I was really in this inspired action. And uh, when I did my inspired action of writing my I remember when journal prompts last night, it was an I remember when I was on these podcast interviews that I just absolutely loved. And so that created, as I went to sleep, an identity shift, a paradigm shift within me. And when I woke up this morning to do our call now, I thought, why have I sort of lived in this world where I'm using AirPods for our interviews? And it's a small thing, but I do have a great microphone here, and I just chose not to use it. And that I remember when of podcast interviews actually had me do inspired action today of putting on earrings, which I normally don't do if I'm wearing the AirPods because I don't want the earrings to hit the AirPods and make noise. So I know it sounds like a small thing, but these are the little things that start to change slight shifts in your identity. Um, so those were the things that I did, right? Just to sh make little small
Yeah.
shifts. They say small hinges open big doors. And so
Oh, yeah.
something within me opened with those inspired actions that I took yesterday. How about you?
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Kind of similar for me. I was inspired to shoot several videos and record several videos, and I did that kind of in the moment, off the cuff, like inspired actions. A couple of different events happened, and I did different calls with clients and people, and I just was immediately inspired to shoot some videos and share some content for this new online course that I'm building. And I did that like right away on the spot. And then I had a really pretty busy day throughout the day. And then I actually just in the evening, went down by the beach, went down by the dock, walked by the Malecon and the dock and everything, and saw all these beautiful Valentine's Day displays. And I got some amazing shots and photos of some really cool decorations that they set up. And that was, oh, I also tried this amazing Asian restaurant. That was an inspired thing too. I'd been wanting to go for like a week. It was like the best Asian restaurant in town. Those were my inspired actions. Love that.
Well, you know, you're
It
making
feels good.
everyone who's under this much snow right now because we just had a big freeze. There's not much snow out there, so you're making all of us kind of salivate. Like, you know, the white beaches of Mexico look very different to the white
No,
powder that's happening here in Canada.
the white snow of Canada. What a great contrast, right? That's awesome. Okay, so today's day is day five, alignment. The answer, the secret, it all comes down to alignment. That's the only thing that matters. Feeling good is the work. That's it. That's all that matters. This is a hard thing for people to grasp. I know that for myself it was too. So please, Merav, tell us all about this, please.
Well, if you're in the personal development world or the spiritual world or any kind of have ever gone to a workshop or a seminar, then you've probably heard this concept of the I am, that the words I am, whatever comes after that becomes your truth. Whatever you say after I am becomes what you live. Your cells respond, your identity responds. So, you know, if you say, I am depressed, I am sad, I am not capable, I am, and more so than saying it to anybody else. I mean, you've probably seen the Masaru Emoto experiments with water. He took water and put it under, you know, put it in a cup or in a petri dish and then put it under a microscope. And for 2 weeks said to one group of water, you know, one cup of water, you are beautiful. I love you. You are incredible. You are smart. You're capable. And the crystals of that water flourished, right? Just looked clean and connected. And then he took another grouping of water and said, you are so dumb. You are not lovable. You are not capable. And the crystals to that actually looked putrid and moldy. And so there's definitely something that's goes beyond reason, goes beyond our cellular understanding, that whatever it is that we give words to, and even more important than saying you are to something else, it's the I am to yourself. Because that element of whatever it is that comes after I am, you will identify with and you will become. So I have an acronym for that I am because and it really does stand to reason. It's the I is the identity. Whatever identity you give yourself is what you will walk into, is what you will become. I am uh, productive. I am a mother. I am happy. I am spiritual. I am athletic. I am beautiful. I am smart. I am great. All of that. And the converse can be true too. If you say the opposite of those things, that's what you will become as well. And there's a lot of history and background to have us very often say the I and identify with something that's negative for whatever reason that might come up. And so it's a real pursuit that we have to do to constantly identify with the things that we want to be, the things that we want to become. And then the A of am, of the I am, is this alignment. Because when we're identifying as the thing that we want to be, we can't help but be in alignment. So I am in the best shape of my life. As soon as we're identifying with that, then we're going to start being in alignment. How does the person who's in the best shape of their life, how do I, as the person who's in the best shape of my life, start to act and behave? And what things do I do in the morning? What do I put on my plate? And what do I choose to go to the gym? You know, do I choose to exercise in a gym or outdoors? And that those choices now become truly aligned to what that looks like for me. And then the M becomes the manifestation. So it's the identity of it. And then you're choosing things that are in alignment with that. And then you start to see that manifestation come into your life without you even trying because I am. It's as simple as that.
So M is manifest.
Yeah, M is the manifestation of that. Yeah.
So it's kind of like I align and manifest.
Yes. Yeah,
It's like if I
identity,
were
alignment, manifestation. Yes.
I align and manifest. It's kind of
Yeah.
like I align and manifest. If that
Yeah.
were an acronym and a breakdown.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, the topic for today is alignment, and alignment is feeling good. Alignment is feeling at your best. Alignment is feeling amazing. If you listen to Abraham Hicks, which I think and I bet a lot of people do, and by the way, I'm going on an Abraham Hicks cruise for the first time in a month and a half at the end of March. She
Congratulations.
said
That's wonderful. Yep.
she says it's all about feeling good. She says feeling good is the work, feeling good is the work, feeling good is the work. She says any excuse in the world to feel good, do whatever you can to feel good, whatever it takes to feel good. Of course, within reason and without doing, like drugs and stuff like that. But feeling good from a natural place is the A, is the alignment. That's the thing that brings alignment. And then that leads to the manifestation. That's what leads to the results. So the other day we spoke about ecstasy, what brings you joy that is connected to it. And to bring things full circle, remember that our actions are ideally inspired. Ideally, we're taking only inspired actions. I know that's difficult. I know that's unreasonable. I know the first time I heard that, that was tough. And there's things that we have to do, like we talked about yesterday, but then there's inspired actions. And Abraham basically says, and most like superior law of attraction teachers have the discipline to say that the more inspired actions you take, the more of an inspired life you'll have. The more you're feeling good, the better of a life you'll have. Everything we desire is in the name of feeling good, isn't it? Everything we want it because we think we'll feel good when we have it, right? So feeling good really is the work. I know it's difficult to believe that such a simple, simple, simple thing could be the secret and the key, but that is the secret. And if you watch The Secret, the movie, then it's like ultimately boiling down to, she says, feeling good. And she amassed this knowledge from all kinds of other teachers, right? Rhonda Bryan amassed this knowledge from all these other teachers that she studied, Napoleon Hill, Wallace Wattles, a lot of the experts, Prentice Mulford, these guys were obviously part of some kind of group that had this knowledge that is not that common today. And that's because they kept that stuff a secret because it was too powerful. That's why it was called The Secret, the movie, right? The documentary. So that's what day 5 is alignment. I love that it's part of the I am. It's in the middle of the I am. It's the conduit. It's the light. And it's the middle column. And it's the energy that is the energy that makes the difference. The thing between you and the manifestation, the answer is feeling good. So I love, Merav, your acronym for I am. I align and manifest. It's perfect. It's beautiful.
Yeah, the I is identity, right? Like whatever
Oh,
your identity is, right? So it is the I, right? How do you see who is I? Who am I in this world? Because you can choose lots of different identities. And of course, there are a lot of identities that have been placed upon us that we just accept. But then there are a lot of identities that as we go through life, morph and change and transmute and transform. And there are a lot of identities that we actively can transmute in a moment or that we take a lifetime to transmute. Uh,
mm,
for instance, a small thing like me choosing to wear my AirPods rather than waking up in this identity of, no, I am a podcaster. Um, I align with that. I align
mhm.
with that. And today is a small example of that. Um, But part of the identity that I was able to shift into with that is because we've been doing this now for 5 days that I had this I remember when this memory of my future self doing podcasting. And so it just became an identity shift. An identity
Amazing.
shift really is a paradigm shift because
Yeah.
go on, what were you
Oh no,
you
I just
enthusiastically just answered like, yeah. So what came up for you just then?
yeah, because you kept saying shifting your identity, and I kept thinking shifting your reality.
Yeah.
Like that's what I really felt when you said it. Is this? microphone you're using now in front of you, and everything we did this whole week, this has been a reality shift. And that action of no longer using your, ear pods, and you're using the microphone now, that's a shift in your reality. I feel like it's a tweak in your reality. And Tony Robbins has that example of like the Gulf swing or the ship in the ocean that only changes its angle just a slight little bit. Doesn't look like much in the beginning, right? But in the long-term ship's trajectory and path, it's a totally different trajectory. It's a totally different career path that you're going on, or pathway that object, whether it's a golf ball or a ship, from a little micro shift angle change is a totally different direction at the end of the day.
You're 100% right. And people, if you've watched any motivational speaker, inspirational speaker, they've often talked about the airplane. When a pilot gets into an airplane, uh, going from New York to LA, for instance, they have a trajectory. They know where they're going. They know where their final destination is. I mean, that's the destination. That's the goal, right? Like, but if a pilot would leave it only up to that destination, that trajectory, there are so many things that happen
Right.
along the routing. Uh, Different winds come into play, or they're flying over an area that ATC might ask for a different routing, or another airplane, is at the same altitude, so they have to shift up or shift down like that. That any given time, there's going to be some adjustments made to that final destination. That doesn't mean, though, that if the winds are blowing, in a certain way at a certain force, that now the pilot's just going to say like, oh, well, we're landing in, Alabama instead. No,
Yeah.
along the way, things are going to happen that will you need to adjust course because the final destination is still the expected destination. So there's a whole integration in that, you create that identity, and now along the way, you're making those micro adjustments to get to that final destination. Things that you couldn't have predicted.
Right.
But that's part of it, because
Yeah.
the great part about that is that the end, the manifestation of having landed exactly where you need to have landed, has given you the chops, the experience, like you actually learned those things from the micro adjustments, not from the direct line.
Yeah.
You can do it again,
Right.
you can replicate it because you learned about the micro adjustments along the way.
This has been 5 days. I know we could do another 5 days because you touched on something there where you talked about adjusting the flight path, adjusting along for the journey, course correcting, right? That could be a whole other day in and of itself. So in a minute, we're gonna recap and wrap up. But this is a great thing to talk to us about. Like we want to offer to connect with you. And if you want to speak to us, we think that that would be really vital for the course corrections. So we're going to invite you to come and speak to us and talk to us after. But what I want to do first, and before we wrap up, I want to acknowledge everyone. We love these A's. We're doing all these A's, like activate, align, ask, action, like you know, and I want to acknowledge everyone for listening, like taking the time out of your day, taking the time out of your week to join us. Thank you for all the people who watched, listened, liked, commented, shared. It means the world to us. We acknowledge your success. We acknowledge the work that you've done here. We acknowledge the homework that you've done, your learnings. Merav, I acknowledge you for doing this, for coming up with this idea, for sharing it, for putting it together, for making it happen, for wanting it to happen, for making the time, for sharing your brilliance with us and with the world. And we just want to thank you so much and acknowledge you. And before we wrap up, also we want to invite you to trust. That's one of the magic missing pieces as well. We're not doing another 5 days. We could do another 5 days, but we wanted to help you get the law of attraction right this time. We wanted to help you in this time of uncertainty, economic, political, tax uncertainty, all these uncertainties. We wanted you to know the truth. The reality of reality is abundance. You're always abundant. Abundant is always available, and it's always possible. And it's available for me or for Elon Musk or Warren Buffett or whoever. It's available for you. We wanted you to have it. And so we want you to trust the universe. If this is your 10th time trying the law of attraction or using it, if this is your first time or your 30th time, do it differently. Take what you learned this week with us, do it better, do it differently, course correct, There's that gift from Merav, course correct and adapt and do it differently and do it right. And I want to toss it to Merav before we sign off and say goodbye. What do you want to say and share, Merav?
Oh, thank you so much. This has been a pleasure, and I acknowledge you. And I acknowledge you for picking this up, like this idea, and really bringing the energy into it and behind it. And that was just so much acknowledgement for that. And I acknowledge all the people watching and listening. And I will say also that I'm going to take the time and acknowledge that I'm going to acknowledge myself as well. I think I shared in one of the other days. This is one of those things that I know that I have to be reminded. I'm always looking up the mountain rather than looking how far I've come or how what I've already put into place. And so I'm acknowledging myself and in so doing, kind of tossing it back to you because if I'm doing it probably you, the listener, and you, Michael, and maybe that's part of the human element. So how important it is to acknowledge. So I'm acknowledging us in this creation, myself, you, Michael, the listeners, everyone who is watching, everyone who's commenting, and I'm acknowledging also everyone who is reaching out to myself, reaching out to Michael afterwards to have another uh, chance to connect. I'm offering a coffee and consultation. You don't have to have coffee. You can have water or tea or whatever beverage you want, but just a coffee connection. Reach out to me and let me know when you'd like to connect, and I'll send you my calendar link. And I'm acknowledging this process. Has been a beautiful 5 days for me, Michael. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Merav. Same to you as well. It's been a ton of fun. It's been really joyful. It's been a great manifestation for us both. It's been a great sign of alignment and a great inspired action for us to do together. And I'm offering the same. We're just open to connecting. We don't know where this is going. We're just following the inspired action. Merav and I are just following the guidance we were given to do this. And so what I'm offering the same. It's a coffee chat, a conversation. You can message us. Either of us, we're both right here on Facebook, and you can message us right here. And we'd love to connect with you and see where it goes and see how we can help you and work together to help you have an inspired life with infinite abundance. We hope you've enjoyed this 5-day infinite abundance challenge. This has been fun for us to do. We've been doing the challenge right here with you. So thank you so much. Have a great week, a great rest of your weekend, and happy Love Day again. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy
Take
Valentine's
care.
Day. Bye.